So, Deborah, congratulations on being chosen as our Women of Excellence for 2024 for AEL.
Thank you so much. I was so surprised. And
Well, you had a lot of really nice things that you were nominated, and there was a lot of really nice things that was said about you. One of them was it was that you're always willing to help, that you're very polite, honest, and thoughtful about all the other employees and the other vehicles on the road, and that you accept all dispatches assigned to you with no issue.
that, yes, I try. It's hard to say no. If I
Yes,
can say yes, I mean, it very rarely.
yeah. So tell me, how long have you been driving for AEL?
It's been 2.5 years that I've been driving for them. Um, yes, and I really I love working for them. They're really amazing. Uh, Before that, I had traveled for work and I was driving, and I was just looking for something where I could be home. And this opportunity came up, and I'm really grateful for it. I really enjoy what I'm doing, and the people over there at American Eagle are really great people to work for.
Well, how did you get into the trucking and transportation industry? How did you start driving?
Okay, well, I had started years ago. I had actually left my children's father, and I started out driving a school bus. I needed a job, had left him, and there was a bus company where I had moved. And I walked over there and they trained me and I started driving the school bus up in New Jersey. And I'm from Louisiana now, but I'm originally from New Jersey. My children's father was from Louisiana and I had left and gone back up there. And I moved back to Louisiana and I used my bus credentials to be able to get a job in the oil field as an industry, driving buses for the oil fields. Actually, they call it crew change. So I
Mhm.
started doing that. Um, I took a break from doing that for a while, raising kids and everything. And then I met someone who was traveling, and I left the state again with him. And he actually traveled pipeline work.
Mhm.
So, again, using my ability to drive a bus with my CDL, I was able to get a job as a teamster. And I started driving back in 2016 for a pipeline company, and I traveled with them up until 2.5 years ago. Um, I would drive dump trucks, and I ended up with a small composite crew, and I would travel with that group. We did what's called anomaly digs, and we would travel and do repairs and replacements on the pipeline. And I enjoyed doing that. Being a woman, though, it was hard traveling. Usually, I was one of the only women on the crew if it was a small job. And, sometimes you have to prove yourself, your abilities, because they think that you are just there because someone you're with is there. They don't realize that you actually are able to do your job. So, so
What,
it's a little rough, but I think, and then,
what did that job I'm just curious. What did that job consist of? What did you have to do?
okay, what I did, I actually drove. Well, when I started out, they needed someone to drive a dump truck, so I was driving a dump truck. Then I stayed with that crew, and when they left the first job that they were doing, I went with them, and they just needed someone who drove a 1 ton pulling a gooseneck trailer with equipment. Um, so I would run errands basically between the main office and the job sites to get supplies. And I would just be a support personnel,
Mhm.
you know, going and making sure they had their supplies, pulling the trailer with small equipment. Sometimes they would need me to drive another truck, get a dump truck or another truck to go get something. So it was versatile, and it was it was a good experience. It really was. Um, I enjoyed it.
And so, in driving for AEL, you do a lot of hazmat work.
Yes, I do. Yes, I did get that endorsement while I was pipelining. I have the hazmat, um, and I do. I enjoy that. It's I'm on a 1 ton, so it's not large amounts of hazmat, but it's a good responsibility to have when you're traveling. You have to be extra cautious when you're on the road, knowing that you have some things that could be dangerous to other people. So you have to take extra care, and I
Well,
enjoy
and
that.
yes, and the paperwork. There's
Yeah,
always so much paperwork, and you have to make sure that all the paperwork is correct. And I think you're excellent at doing that, making sure your paperwork is all in order.
yes, it does have to be in order. A lot of people don't want to do hazmat, and a lot of people say that's why I dropped my endorsement. All that paperwork, and it's really it's not that big of a deal. You just have to make sure everything is the way it's supposed to be. It's just attention to detail, I guess, and patience. You have to wait a little longer. You can't just load and go.
Yeah. So in saying that, Deborah, safety is priority one at Bennett and at AEL, and you do hazmat, and so what are some? Can you give me maybe a couple examples of ways out on the road that you try to make sure that safety is always priority one?
Lauren. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Um, the distractions, first of all.
Oh
you,
yeah.
you try to minimize your distractions that you have. And I always try to keep a safe buffer between me and the other drivers. And you have to look ahead and try to almost predict and see, if there's a bunch of traffic that's all clustered up, you stay away from them. Um, you just try to look out because there's so many crazy things that happen on the road. And I always say, look out for those little fast cars, the ones that zip in and out. You just
Mhm.
have to keep your eyes open all the time because they come out of nowhere. So you have to look ahead and behind you. And and down here in Louisiana, we have really bad weather. It seems like I'm a storm chaser sometimes. So you just have to adjust your speed for bad weather. Just go a little slower. And again, watch out for other people. I guess that's the biggest thing is just being aware of your surroundings and just taking it a little slower sometimes.
Well, I appreciate that you're being a safe driver. That's very, very important to us because we all know that we have a responsibility to the motoring public to try to be as safe as we can be on the road. Now, you mentioned some of the challenges that you've had. I just want to ask you, being a woman in the driver's seat, what are some of the other challenges that you have seen in being a woman out there?
Um, I think the biggest one is the fact that you're a woman driving a truck. And especially, I mean, they're surprised. Like I'll show up in the middle of the night and they're surprised I'm a woman because I'm out there in the middle of the night by myself. So and I've always been independent and it sort of surprises me. I don't know why it surprises me because people's mindset is that women are supposed to need someone to take care of them. And I guess being an independent woman is hard to be sometimes because people's perception. So you almost have to work harder to prove yourself than a man does. So I think that's a big challenge. You can do the same job, but they'll still view you sometimes in a different way. I always try to be professional in what I do. That's another one. You have to let them know that you're serious and you know professional in what you do. And I think that earns a lot of respect from other people. Um, but yeah, the challenge.
So,
I don't know.
If there was other women that wanted to get into trucking, into doing what you do, would you have any suggestions or advice for them if they were thinking about getting into the business?
I would just say don't let anything hold you back. There's going to be challenges and there's going to be big obstacles, but you just have to work through them and set your mind on what you want to accomplish. And always try to make yourself better, you know, to make yourself, um, I don't even know how to put it, but always learn new things to make your job easier because there are ways to make things easier to do. Being a woman, you don't have to strike with a man. But
I appreciate that because we're seeing more and more women get into, that want to be drivers and getting into our industry. And that's why here at Bennett, we have a group which is Women in the Driver's Seat because we want to empower women and
mhm,
want to work on things that might make it easier for them out on the road. Because I admire what you do. It's not easy, and
mhm,
it takes a lot of courage to get out there and do it every day. And we certainly appreciate you doing it in such a professional, safe way. And so I admire that. So tell me about your family. You said that I heard you say you had children.
yes, I had 4 children. They're all grown now. One had passed away when he was 21, but yeah, he was in an accident. But I have a grandson. He did have a son, so I do have my grandson from him, and I see him in him like every day. It's amazing, how much he is resembles him. But I actually live with my son down here in Louisiana. He has 4 children, and so I spend a lot of time with those grandchildren, and I enjoy every minute of it. They keep things lively. They are always, they say I'm crazy. They're always like, Grandma, you're crazy. Because I'm the fun, mean grandma. We can have fun. But
Yeah.
I have no problem leaving one behind if you didn't behave the last time. So they want to be on their toes so we can do fun stuff. But
Well, so
yeah.
I was going to ask you what you like to do when you're not working, but I think you've already answered that.
Yes, yes.
So
Uh,
do you have hobbies?
my hobbies actually, I like tinkering with things. Fixing things up. I have this camper right now. It's not an Airstream, but it's an Avion, and it's one of those metal old 1974 campers. And I'm in the process of stripping it and redoing it.
Oh, wow.
Yes, I
Like
like.
classic.
Yes, so I'm doing that, but I like doing things around the house, even you know, painting, fixing things up. But it gives you a sense of accomplishment when you take something that's old and you bring it back to life. So I enjoy doing that.
Well, Deborah, I've really enjoyed talking to you and learning a little bit about what it is that you do every day out there on the road. And again, I just appreciate you. I appreciate you being our Woman of Excellence for AEL. And in accepting being our Woman of Excellence, do you have anything you'd like to say?
I just want to say thank you. I didn't realize, that they appreciated me, that much. I mean, they're all wonderful people, but I was really surprised, that they had nominated me for this. And just, I appreciate it. It's an honor, to be chosen. And it's great to represent other women. I think it's great that you want to encourage other women to be in this industry because it's a wonderful opportunity. especially for single moms. You know,
Mhm.
when you have to be the breadwinner in the family, it's a great career to be able to provide for your family. And I appreciate American Eagle for giving me that opportunity, you know, because you're able to grow and make a really good income. So I really appreciate that.
I know they appreciate you.
All right. Thank
Appreciate the good job that you do, and I appreciate the opportunity to get to talk